Hi guys, here from Pax Europiana from Vienna. I'm back from my trip to Kosovo, and I call for Ukraine to recognize Kosovo. We met the Ukrainian journalist which Kosovo government has invited and in Pristina now in front of the newborn, and there was a good media article where I explained everything as well in Ukrainian about why it's necessary to recognize the Republic of Kosovo from the side of Ukraine. It's completely necessary now at the moment, yeah. And the Western diplomats tell, no, don't do it, don't go for it, because it's wrong at the moment, we can wait, and it's too much provocation of Russia, because they want to have a face-saving way out for Putin, because he doesn't like, of course, Kosovo. So that's totally wrong. Why to do face-saving things for Putin, the war criminal? I don't know. And we will never convince him for Kosovo or for Ukraine. And it somehow gives his kind of argument that he is smart and he knows what to do. It is endorsing Putin if you don't recognize Kosovo. And it's a big insult to the European policy decision makers, because we have liberated Kosovo by NATO intervention, and it was the right thing to do. And we should also intervene in Ukraine on the same principle for human rights, democracy, freedom, and for anti-violence, of course, because it's aggressive violence, it's a war of aggression which Russia is doing in Ukraine. It has nothing to do over there. And it was a war of aggression of Milosevic to commit genocide, as Putin is doing in Bucha and in Mariupol. Milosevic was doing the same and even worse, or similar things, yeah. Terrible crimes. And so why are you endorsing such a policy then basically retrospectively by continuing not to recognize Kosovo? I ask the Ukrainians, because this is friendly people. They know how to live under the bombs of Milosevic, and they have lived under that, and they want to be free, and they were achieving it with Western help. Less you want to be free. So recognize Kosovo, please. And it's very important, because Kosovo and Ukraine will stand together and be a member in the NATO and in the EU together. Of course Kosovo has to join NATO. Of course Ukraine has to join NATO. Only that gives safety for Ukraine and stability and security in the long term. Same for Ukraine. Whatever the outcome now of the battle for the Donbass will be, Ukraine must be in NATO and in the EU, and together with Kosovo as independent member states and allies and members of the NATO and EU. Of course, and you need to recognize each other. And of course Ukraine must be the leader, because it's the biggest nation with 40 million, Kosovo only 2 million, and all 9 countries together, it is basically then exactly 20 million plus Ukraine 40-60. And of course it's Ukraine the biggest, and we love Ukraine, it's the biggest, but Ukraine is not alone. You're not alone on the planet. You must take a leadership role towards Kosovo, towards Bosnia, towards the victims of aggression, obviously, and also to Georgia and also to Moldova. Not to push them and to lobby them and to claim that they are free riding on the Ukrainian ticket into EU, but to be to be the people were commenting about Bosnia. Yeah, Bosnia also in the EU and NATO. Yes, absolutely. Bravo Bosnia. Aus Bosnien, sehr gut. Herzlich willkommen in der EU und NATO. So they are all looking for Bosnia. So Bosnia also in NATO, obviously. I'm here in the public because I don't wanted to make the videos in Vienna here. And my installation with Kosovo is attracting some attention. So the situation is very clear. Ukraine, we love you, Slava Ukraine, and we want to support you in EU and NATO, but you have to make it more easy. You have to understand that we are in a big debate about enlargement of EU and NATO, and there's only one debate about enlargement and NATO, and it's not only for Ukraine, it's also for Kosovo, for Bosnia, for Macedonia, for Albania, for Georgia, for Moldova, and all of them must be united in the euro, of course. That's, by the way, the other topic. Absolutely, you must adopt. And like in Kosovo, that's the role model of everything I say, because Kosovo was created, liberated, defended, secured by NATO. And then it is a free country because of NATO. And so if you are against that concept of NATO intervention of Kosovo, then you are against NATO intervention, then you endorse the Putin narrative. And then you are confused. Because if we all have the same narrative of the liberation of Kosovo was the right and just thing to do, and it was, and then the euro was the right and just thing to do, and the reconstruction according to European principles was the right and just thing to do, then of course you must be for Kosovo. It's logical. And then for the same thing must be for Ukraine. NATO intervention, of course. NATO membership, of course. And obviously also the euro, of course. And EU membership. And you will anyhow sit together in the same EU of 37 countries, together on the same table of the European Parliament and the European Council. And of course you must be together. And that is so logical, and that's why I'm calling for that. And please, Ukraine, recognize Kosovo, but ahead of the 23rd of June summit, because then it's understood in Brussels that you have understood that we are not, you're not, because also you're not joining something confused. We have a plan, we have a strategy. And it looks as you are confused in Ukraine, because if you don't recognize Kosovo, you somehow have some superior knowledge to us, or you know something better. Of course you don't know. We know. Because we made the decision in 1999 and 2008. Yeah? We are the European Union. Here all together, 450 million people with policies. And if you want then to impose your own problems on us, that is not very attractive. Yeah? And of course Ukraine and Crimea is something, also Crimea and Kosovo is something completely different. There was a genocide in Kosovo before the NATO intervention, and the genocide and the war crimes started with Russian intervention. So it's so logical that there's something different. And so I call, please, my friends in Ukraine, support and recognize Kosovo now. And here the people of Kosovo stand in full solidarity with you, and thanks a lot for that. Thank you. More to come from Pax Europiana. Bye.